Aristotle, the Greek philosopher. Early life and education. Aristotle was born in 384 BC in Stagira, a small coastal town in the region of Macedonia in northern Greece. His father, Nicomachus, was a physician to the Macedonian king, which likely gave young Aristotle early exposure to the empirical and observational techniques of medicine, influencing his later work. However, Aristotle was orphaned at a young age and was then raised by a guardian named Proxenus, who ensured he received a well-rounded education. Around the age of 17, Aristotle moved to Athens to study at Plato's Academy, the leading institution of learning in Greece. Plato, who greatly influenced Aristotle's intellectual development, taught him the principles of philosophy, ethics, mathematics, and more. Although Aristotle admired Plato, he often disagreed with his metaphysical ideas, especially Plato's theory of ideal forms, which posited that abstract forms or ideals were the highest reality. Instead, Aristotle believed in the importance of empirical observation and began to develop his own methods of inquiry. Development of Aristotle's philosophy. After Plato's death in 347 BC, Aristotle left Athens, likely due to political changes that affected the academy. He traveled to Asia Minor, modern-day Turkey, where he lived at the court of a ruler named Hermias, married Hermias' niece Pythias, and continued his philosophical studies. Later, Aristotle moved to the island of Lesbos, where he began systematic biological research, observing and cataloging numerous plant and animal species. In 343 BC, Aristotle was invited by King Philip II of Macedonia to become the tutor to his son, Alexander the Great. This position gave him significant political influence and access to resources, further shaping his worldview and philosophy. Aristotle's teachings undoubtedly influenced Alexander, though their relationship is thought to have been complex. Founding of the Lyceum and the Peripatetic School. After Alexander became king and began his conquests, Aristotle returned to Athens in 335 BC and founded his own school, the Lyceum, named after the temple of Apollo Lysias where it was located. Unlike Plato's Academy, the Lyceum emphasized empirical observation and the systematic collection of knowledge. Aristotle taught and conducted research here for about 12 years, during which he gathered a substantial library and developed his ideas in fields ranging from philosophy and biology to physics and ethics. The Lyceum became known as the Peripatetic School, named after the peripatos, or covered walkways, where Aristotle and his students would discuss ideas while walking. His teaching style encouraged active engagement, debate, and inquiry, forming a model for scholarly education that endured long after his death. Major works and contributions. Aristotle's body of work is vast, covering a range of subjects, but most of his surviving works are likely lecture notes and writings intended for students. His contributions can be grouped into several core areas. 1. Logic. Aristotle is considered the father of formal logic. His organon, meaning tool, is a collection of works that introduces his theory of syllogism, a form of deductive reasoning that became foundational in Western logic. 2. Metaphysics. In his work Metaphysics, Aristotle explores the nature of reality, change, and existence, introducing the concept of substance as the underlying reality of things. He famously examines the concepts of potentiality and actuality, contributing profoundly to ontological discussions. 3. Ethics. Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics examines the concept of the good life and introduces his doctrine of the golden mean, which posits that virtue is a balance between extremes. He argues that the ultimate goal of human life is eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing or happiness, achieved through rational and virtuous living. 4. Politics. His work Politics builds on his ethical theories, discussing the nature of justice, governance, citizenship, and the structure of the ideal state. He believed that humans are political animals by nature, meant to live in structured communities, and saw the state as an institution for nurturing virtue. 5. Natural sciences. Aristotle's biological works are among the earliest scientific treatises, classifying animals, describing anatomy, and theorizing about the causes of life processes. His interest in the natural world led him to observe and document animal species, forming one of the first extensive bodies of biological knowledge. His scientific approach, however, was limited by the lack of modern scientific tools, which sometimes led him to inaccurate conclusions. 6. Rhetoric and Poetics. In rhetoric, Aristotle discusses the art of persuasion, a key skill in political and legal contexts in ancient Greece. His Poetics is one of the earliest works of literary theory, focusing on tragedy and epic poetry and exploring themes like catharsis, emotional purification, and plot structure, which influenced dramatic and literary criticism for centuries. Legacy and death. Aristotle's final years were marked by political turbulence. After the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BCE, anti-Macedonian sentiment grew in Athens. Aristotle, with close ties to Alexander and the Macedonian court, faced backlash and accusations of impiety. To avoid the fate of Socrates, who had been executed on similar charges, Aristotle left Athens, famously saying he wished to avoid giving the Athenians a second chance to sin against philosophy. He fled to the island of Euboea, where he died in 322 BC at the age of 62. Although much of his work was lost over time, Aristotle's surviving writings had an immeasurable impact on medieval Islamic and Christian scholarship. His ideas were preserved and commented upon by scholars in the Islamic world, which later influenced Western Europe's scholastic tradition. His philosophy became central to the curriculum of medieval universities and shaped Western thought through figures like Thomas Aquinas, who integrated Aristotle's ideas with Christian doctrine. Aristotle's contributions to philosophy, logic, science, and political theory have left a lasting legacy, making him one of the most celebrated figures in the history of thought. His ideas and methods influenced intellectuals throughout history, from the Renaissance to the Enlightenment and beyond, forming the foundations of many modern academic disciplines. Today, Aristotle remains a monumental figure in the intellectual heritage of the world, celebrated for his breadth of knowledge, his method of inquiry, and his pursuit of understanding across all areas of life.